Welcome to the Resonant Life podcast. I'm Dr. Leila Doolitttle, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey into the world of functional health and quantum wellness. This podcast is designed to inspire, empower, and guide you as we explore how to achieve optimal health, not just through physical health healing, but by aligning with the deepest, most resonant aspects of your being. In each episode, we dive into cutting-edge science, ancient wisdom, and practical tools to unlock the root causes of your health concerns, transforming them into opportunities for growth, resilience, and abundant wellness. You'll discover insights from quantum medicine, neuroscience, bioenergetics, and more, all crafted to help you live a life that resonates with your highest potential. Join me as we unpack powerful strategies for optimizing your body, mind, and soul, and offer actionable steps to bring greater balance, joy, and vitality into your everyday life. Whether you're seeking to understand the connection between your health and your purpose, or you're ready to experience profound shifts in your well-being, the Resonant Life podcast is your space to connect, heal, and thrive. Let's embark on this journey of health and resonance together. Welcome back to another episode of the Resonant Life podcast. I am your host, Dr. Leila Doolitttle, and I am thrilled and honored to be joined today by Dr. Maximilian Omer. Dr. Maximilian is a profoundly transformative figure whose work integrates the realms of law, quantum medicine, and ancient energy sciences. With over a decade of international experience, Dr. Omer bridges the gap between cutting-edge legal expertise and pioneering advancement in natural and quantum medicine. His journey from a successful legal career to becoming a globally recognized leader in quantum health and consciousness work has profoundly impacted countless lives, driving innovation and transformation in multiple fields. As a PhD candidate in natural medicine and an expert in living string theory, Dr. Omer uniquely combines the principles of quantum physics and medicine to unlock human potential and catalyze epigenetic upgrades, enabling individuals to harness their highest capabilities for wellness and leadership. His work is rooted in the understanding that energy, consciousness, and frequency form the core of both ancient and medical traditions and modern scientific discoveries. A personal tragedy in 2018 marked a pivotal moment in Dr. Omer's life, steering him away from the corporate law toward a deeper pursuit of natural medicine and energy leadership. His subsequent immersion in ancient energetic lineages, including a sacred encounter at Stonehenge, opened doors to a rare and powerful spiritual inheritance. Dr. Omer is one of only 2 individuals in the last millennium entrusted with the ability to perceive and unlock unique soul symphonies, patterns of frequency that represent the highest expression of a person's core being. Through his profound mastery of piezoelectric and biophotonic biological quantum physics, as well as his expertise in enhancing epigenetic expression through frequency encoding, biofield transformation, and optimization of frequency resilience, Dr. Omer has helped countless individuals transform their lives at the deepest levels. His rare ability to align a person's soul essence with their physical reality leads to rapid healing, spiritual elevation, and an embodied sense of authentic leadership. Those fortunate enough to work with Dr. Omer experience radical shifts in their personal and professional lives, emerging as leaders of grace, excellence, and service. Dr. Omer's mission is clear: to empower humanity by reconnecting individuals to their innate power, expanding consciousness, and unlocking the energetic potential embedded in every soul. His work paves the way for a future where quantum science, energy healing, and natural medicine converge to create a world of higher vibrational resonance, profound transformation, and boundless possibility. I'm very excited for this conversation. Dr. Maximilian, tell us a little bit about your background and what has led you to this understanding and philosophy in healthcare and in the way that we're creating meaning in our lives.
Thank you very much for that phenomenal introduction, as well as for the opportunity to be here, and I'm happy to share. Let me start with my main mission, or what I call the propulsion that really gets me going every day, and that is actually enlightening and aligning the high energy leaders, so they can touch 1 million hearts
Yes.
all around the world. And I think there is a need to actually upgrade how leadership is done, to actually create leadership as a love story. Because when you're fully in love with what you're sharing, what you're doing, how you conduct business, how you talk to people,
Yes.
you create that sparkle in their eyes, and you feel through your mission they can grow as well, and they see their bigger picture just by your presence. And that is my main goal to the work I am doing. And how it is done is a version of what I call living string theory, which combines aspects of quantum physics, but actually string theory is way more precise as it works on the void rather than on the conceptual already created pattern of fields like quantum physics does.
Yes.
And what fascinated me about during my studies was, let's go back. Who am I and how did I study?
Sure.
I started my journey as a corporate lawyer in Germany, and my focus was M&A and cross-border transaction. And during this time, I was fascinated about the human capacity, went into biohacking, and understand that there is so much more that the physical body and the mental body can actually achieve if you reattune the hardware. But after a while, this didn't really appeal anymore to me, and I was more focusing on upgrading the software, understanding how the higher self works, how the soul works, how the internal essence actually functions. So I went into studying sacred and ancient texts and understanding how they're actually conducting their work and how they brought the natural wisdom into a form of reality that they can share with their younger people so they can cultivate their essence and share it. And in 2017, 2018, I had a terrible family loss. And then I decided to actually change the trajectory of my journey in business and started to study natural medicine and quantum physics. And during this study, even though quantum physics is a phenomenal field and explains so many phenomena in the world, what I never really understood why such a phenomenal concept only explains 4% of reality, because dark energy, dark matter, and gravity are concepts that are not explainable through quantum physics. And during the work I will later share, I got into understanding reality through strings. Because for me, it makes sense that, like Aristotle has shared, that there's the monochord, and depending on the modes, how it and the rate, how it's moving, you create a different frequency, a different resonance, and a different harmony. And string theory is actually just all about that. When you just imagine that the M theory, which combines all string theory based on supersymmetry, as well as gravity plus multidimensional system, especially 11, they understood that there is an original string that, depending on its modes, it's having unique frequency set, and every frequency set is represented by a part of the string of the monochord, and that actually then represents a particle that is either force-based or mass-based, like either a fermion or a boson when it comes to the wording of quantum physics. But what it does also explain is dark matter, dark energy, and gravity. So it can be something that is the theory of everything. And this really got me intrigued. And when I did my kind of energy work and meditation, I understand that everything is together. And there, yes, the observer effect does make sense, but there is something way beyond, because even before the observation, there's still already a connection.
Yes.
And I'll see, when it comes to dimensions are spatial and temporal perspectives of reality. And how I see how creation is made, we start with a closed system. Some people call consciousness, God, the essence, source energy, or whatever you like to call it. The next version is the first pulse. The first pulse, actually, for me, is the void, as well as string theory. because everything is not yet in movement, but still all potential is in formation. So string theory is a perfect representation of modulating information and energy before a pattern is yet created. And the next step would then be quantum physics, because you have fields, you have particles, you have a wave system, so something is already moving.
Yes.
And that will be then the explanation of how fields interact together. But for me, closer to pure reality would be string theory. And approximately 5-7 years ago, I was so very, very lucky after studying all this science to then find something that inspired me so much, that has deep source energy work, that not in the sense of we have that energy that everybody needs and nobody has, we're the owner of that. And I never believed that all energy and all information is basically free. And as your birthright, you can access everything.
Yes.
But through society, through patterning, through our environment, we just forgot who we are in our essence. Just imagine a child is perfect and it learns habits, it learns behaviors, it learns how to fit in. Same in this area. And so the unlayering, I would call liberating. So you understand who you are, and that starts opening. And the second step is then raising. So you raise your capabilities to a level that you can create outstanding for the best of you and for the collective, while just being your presence and communicating differently. And that led me to studying with a sacred old lineage in the UK that goes back to the times of Merlin and others the like, and they were dedicated on actually advising the kings and queens of old and creating their kingdoms. But they understand pretty early that creating a kingdom is not about creating slaves or followers just to expand and just owning all the land. It was actually about culture creation. You wanted to create a culture and a movement that has or contains such a big dream that people in your environment wants to team up, because your dream is so big that they can live their dream within your dream.
Yes.
And that's what, for me, a true inspiring leader is. And that work I learned there actually uses unique senses of symbology, that the uniqueness is actually what fascinates me in every work, that it directly connects these form of symbologies and geometries to your physical body. So you just imagine your body is like an onion. It has many, many layers.
Yes.
And many tactics like hypnotherapy or classical Qigong works on the upper layer, on the surface levels. But actually it seldomly goes through the essence and works from there. And this work fascinated me so much that it actually was able to go from the physical body to your essence, changing your symphony through this string theory concept that I still call living string theory. And you can literally feel while doing this energy work that the cellular structure, the biological structure changes, meaning you start becoming your own voice rather than being an echo of others.
Yes. Wow.
And everybody was trained differently in this lineage. And I was gifted at using that work. Others were trained in herbology, others were trained in pure advisory, classical medicine, but always understanding a holistic bodily system based on this kind of theories, and not just seeing it as a linear or causality system or just based on Newtonian physics.
Wow.
That in short is my story.
Okay, how brilliant. So there's so many ways that we can think about this and use some of these concepts in health. And as most of our listeners are fascinated with learning the deeper science and bridging that into the deeper meaning or the spiritual aspects of their life and how they're expressing, how they're showing up in the world. So this can help provide them and provide their cells with information, provide their bodies with the ability to express in a much more optimized level of well-being, and also for them to express themselves to their communities around them, to their families, and to their cultures in a way that provides that deeper meaning, deeper, true, authentic version of themselves. So tell us a little bit more about the string theory approach whenever we talk about working with the biological coding of cells, or how the cells are actually working, how they're functioning. We oftentimes talk about expression of cells and how they're receiving the information signals, the receptor sites. Are they able to receive the information to those receptor sites and then respond like they need to? How can we help optimize the way that the cells are actually doing their job, their function? Or if they're not doing it well, then what can we do to bring in the information in a better way that's more received? But I think that you can bring relevance to how we can bypass a lot of the concepts in traditional medicine and even functional medicine, where we work from a biochemical approach, which oftentimes is very limited. And you can go into bringing more information to the optimal function. So let's talk about some of those concepts that bring it home for our listeners.
Fantastic question. This is something I pondered a lot about, just to bring that very, very abstract system of string theory into the pure biology. And quantum physics, in comparison, already did a lot of very, very interesting work when it comes to quantum biology. Like Hameroff and Penrose understood that the microtubule structure of a cell actually reacted to what is called quantum tunneling.
Yes.
And that means that the cellular structure already has quantum effects. And what got them curious was actually that without reaching action potential or excitatory potential, there was still a neuronal movement, and there was still an electrical pulse happening. And classical biology could not explain it.
Yes.
And also, like in high sports speeds, that the physical body could react before a conscious calculation was actually being done. And so they understood that the microtubule structure, and sometimes also the dendrite structure of the neuron, reacted to something. And quantum physics, especially the collapse of the wave function, as they could see that specific microtubule structure collapsed together, that got them fascinated. And what I'm talking about, that living string theory, even goes a little bit deeper.
Yes.
Because the microtubule structure is based on microfilaments that are like strings. And if you can just imagine that every string is a mode, meaning, to come back to the system of supersymmetry, what actually means that every particle has its perfect antiparticle. Quantum physics has the same. And when you just imagine that every microtubule has its perfect partner, but it perceives itself as most efficient, meaning it could be that the efficiency that this intelligent system receives and perceives is actually just an environment created and coded system that does not allow full efficiency to actually be present. And this work, what I'm doing, actually could change and does change the microfilament, and changing the symphony and changing the tone of that unique string. And then they usually come into the polarity part, co-creates with that microfilament, but then they come in 3 and in 9, then they create the microtubule structure, and thereby you can already create your own symphony before the quantum collapse needs to happen, meaning that the cytoskeleton structure is already in a more perfected way. So the collapse has more positive and more collaborating effects on several layers. And when you just continue this thinking, that if the cytoskeleton is more in a perfected individual state, meaning that also epigenetics, the effector and the effector protein structure could actually then shift with the new tension of the surface tension and the surface opportunity of the cell, having then the new opportunity that epigenetics could be then seen as just one antenna, and when the surface tension and your own symphony starts vibrating and resonating within the cell, that it has multidimensional as well as several antennae, meaning just what you receive and what you send out is in a more perfected, more resonant state. So the basic ground state, what resonance is, can be changed through a new harmonic that is more closer to your blueprint, and thereby allowing your cells to become more resilient, more perfected, as well as allowing epigenetics not to only draw from your environment, but you inside creates how your environment is perceived rather than the other way around. And that, in essence, is what all the classical traditions are teaching. True wisdom comes in out and not out in.
Absolutely.
And the next step would be actually the bones. The bones, in my perception, is the resonance material within your physical body. And this is the only thing that is truly as dense as possible. And we just imagine that when these strings, as bones are made of, change their vibrational setting, so also change their resonance body. And when we do these kind of unique meditations, we change the harmony. So how you perceive reality and how you then create stem cells is from a totally different resonance frequency setting. And then the next part would be thinking about the photoelectric effect. As Albert Einstein discovered, piezoelectric effect. And the photoelectric effect was discovered by Albert Einstein as he saw that when he put light on a metal plate, electrons resonated from that. That he called the photoelectric effect. And what he then discovered is not the intensity is prevalent, but actually the frequency is important to create more electrons. And the piezoelectric effect within your bone structure, within everything that has collagen, could then be triggered by this higher frequency. So electric creates chemical pressure that then creates a new informational setting that then turns into changing what Ampere and Faraday was talking about, that a moving electric field then changes the magnetic field, and vice versa, what Maxwell then discovered. And that would mean for the body that you internally create an electromagnetic field structure that supports your own symphony and makes you more resilient to your environment. So despite your environment, you can actually be for you. And your physical software is upgraded, so your hardware is following. Not like with your laptops that you have to do it the other way around. Your internal software becomes so strong that the hardware shifts with it.
Wow, incredible.
Thank you very much.
So fascinating, and I definitely resonate with that way of thinking about resonance and harmonics and just creating the frequencies that of where we want to be, where we want to go, and where we want our systems to listen to, instead of what has been in our past. And there are many stressors and traumas and difficult times in our past that we oftentimes will harbor in our body, somatic sensorily. And we have to be able to release that and move forward and peel back those layers of the onion. And so many people are caught in the movement of doing and attempting to create a healthier state of well-being by going through those layers. And it takes so much time, and it's a very difficult process because there are oftentimes loops involved with that healing process. And oftentimes we're chasing health and focusing so much on what's the next thing that we can do and add into our health plan, and what's the next supplement that we can start taking, and how do we need to eat and live to try to create health. And it keeps our focus on this information that we're constantly feeding ourselves, that we're chasing health. And so it's a never-ending circle oftentimes. So how can we inspire people to get off that hamster wheel of chasing health and go into this new era of giving information to their systems so that they are able to pull themselves out and to shift into a new way of being and a new way of intentionally creating this information era for themselves in this concepts that you're discussing with us?
Very interesting question. But I figured out that I call, or this kind of practices have three big pillars that I work on. It is usually starting with healing, then creation, then leadership. And the main idea is actually what you're just saying, healing should be done on the go.
Yes.
You have that focus on where you truly want to go, and all the resistance could be the aspects you need to heal. Really tough, but if you focus on the healing, you're just repeating, you always find something that you need to heal,
Yes.
and you're coming into this vicious circle that never ends because there's every time something you need to fix.
Yes.
So this works. Sure, there might be some cases where more healing is necessary, at least on the front part.
Yes.
But overall, healing is done on the go.
Yes.
It is very, very fast. As soon as you change how you resonate, how your own song is playing,
Yes.
the rest just falls away, because for your body loves efficiency.
Wow.
But it only knows its efficiency it has at the moment.
Right.
Because of energy expended, it needs to calculate, and it hates the unknown. But if we create from an internal space a completely new structure that resonates with you and aligns with you and your optimal blueprint, then your body starts to rethink, and the layers that were on top before does not make sense for your body anymore. It's like in trauma work. As soon as the baseline trauma is gone, the network does not make sense anymore. And then through this pillar, you can just release all the networks, and thereby changing lives rapidly.
Yes.
And I experienced that with people that had very, very severe trauma. In 1 or 2 sessions of approximately 1 hour, it was gone.
Yes.
And they literally had no reference point to the old trauma anymore. Sure, they can go back to the memory, but who wants that? That's a choice. And if they want to go back, that's their choice. But they can move on.
Wow. And their bodies can heal, and their minds and emotions are also able to align with that.
And can actually move on to where they want to go, like creating in life. And then starting to become leaders for self and others.
Yes.
And showing them that there is a way, then there is faith. Not in a fluffy sense, but really there is always an opportunity to raise up, and there is always what I call the golden path.
Yes.
That actually lifts not only you, but all others as well.
That's beautiful. I love it. What an incredible mission and message that you're sharing with the world. And it absolutely will have a huge and profound ripple effect.
It would be my honor to do so.
Yes. So there's another concept too of ancestral lineage and effect on epigenetics. And I oftentimes have seen with patients that they'll come in with certain ways of thinking about their diagnoses and what their health concerns and health symptoms are at this point. And they'll say, well, because of my family history, I have this predisposition for these certain types of health concerns. And then it just seems like oftentimes we just are a victim to our own epigenetics, or to how our genetics are expressing. And we do know that epigenetics it's like a blueprint that can be turned on or turned off, dimmed up or dimmed down according to how the body is attempting to express and to heal and to optimize that functioning of the epigenetics. Toxins oftentimes will contribute to the system having a difficult time with optimal expression of epigenetics. But that's still all biochemical type of thinking and biological, and it stays in that ground of that difficult process of how can we upregulate or downregulate that epigenetic expression. And I would ask the question of you, how can we go further into that? Because you mentioned this can have an impact on epigenetics. But let's go into that a little bit more with more concepts around the science of how we can inspire the cells and the replication processes and in that DNA conversion, and how it's actually building new cells, how our system is creating itself. Can we use this information dynamic to optimize epigenetics?
100%. Thank you so very much. This is a phenomenal question. I think classical epigenetic research is based on purely chemistry and a little bit of physics, but does not take account the quantum physics, the electromagnetic field, what especially classical medicine is measuring but not accepting as that it has an effect on our body.
Mhm.
And every cell is an open, living, and dynamic system,
Yes.
meaning it constantly is prone to entropy, or if we create a new symphony within the cellular structure, it promotes syntropy because every system wants to live and not die.
Yes.
And entropy would just lead to dying. And this kind of work works directly with the core of your physical body, but as your core is changing, and as I said with the piezoelectric effect, you change how the electrons are moving, and electrons hold information and a form of energy. And if we change the information and the amount of energy that flows with it, so we raise the frequency,
Yes.
we change the field that is around our cells.
Yes.
And there's great research from Miss Rubric, as well as from Nordenstrom, that show actually, and even Rupert Sheldrake showed, morphogenetic and biofield that is around the cells, that actually the field dictates how the cellular structure is created and not vice versa. But this work would actually bring your internal wisdom outside. So the field will attune to your internal symphony.
Yes.
Like when you have tuning forks, the louder and higher frequency it tunes the lower ones.
Yes.
But that works vice versa. But this bypass makes it faster. So some traditions call it the etheric body. In classical quantum physics, now it's called the biofield or the morphogenetic field. If we change that, our cells change. And to come back to epigenetics, if our field does not hold old trauma, old lineage, old whatever, usually it's just a label. We do not know, and we do not reproduce linearly, meaning causality chains can be there, but who knows? But there's also great research showing the biology of belief. If you believe your lineage has that illness or that runs in our family, through that belief, your cells are listening.
Yes, they are.
There is something called cell command theory, that if you actually tell your body it is ill, it finds a way to create that efficiency and stays in that. That's like the nocebo effect.
Yes.
And when we change your internal symphony and rearranging your strings and liberating your purity again, so you align with what you truly are, which is beautiful, which is perfect in your unique way.
Yes, it is.
But it might be layered. And these layers prevent you from actually fully opening to your genetic potential, as well as playing epigenetics to your advantage, rather than being a victim.
Wow.
That would be my answer to it.
That's incredible. So there's so many benefits to this work. And I also, as you were speaking about the frequency and the way that we're creating this like new biofield pattern, or updating like the way that the biofield is expressing, then I would also think about how there are many fear factors that people share whenever they're in the world of health, and it's around like EMFs and toxins and biotoxins and all of the things that can be limiting factors in health and cause the system to be in health compromise, and then leads to health concerns, and then that puts us back on that journey of chasing health again. So what are the ways that we could use this work for creating more resilience in our system, for optimizing the way that the immune system is able to protect us from biotoxins, and from helping our system to optimize the detox patterns to just where we don't carry the frequency to have toxins harbored in our system or harbored in our tissues and organ systems, and also have resilience to this world around us, which is going to have many different types of frequencies that are foreign to our system evolutionarily, or what our system is typically used to dealing with.
Interesting. First, we have to say why our physical body, from a quantum perspective, has so much difficulties with human-made electromagnetic fields. And what I came across through a lot of research was that the way the wave pattern of this human-made frequency is not looking like a classical wave pattern, like a sinus wave pattern that actually supports a lot of process, but it looks like a cyber-tooth pattern. And it loses its polarity shift, meaning you're constantly bombarded with the same information and your body never receives a shift. And as it never stops, your body has no time to actually become resilient and have the time, as the polarity shift from positive to negative is not happening. There is no time. So it's constantly negative, and it usually starts bursting. And your mitochondria lose their power because they constantly have to hold that feed. We're a living system. Entropy happens. So the cells that are not fit enough start dying off, but we do not have the energy to actually produce new cellular structure. So we take from what we have and try to build from weak cells good cells, but if the fundament is weak, we cannot build something excellent out of the weakness. So we degrade constantly. That is my physics perspective on why EMFs degrade the body. They just kill how our cells actually produce information. And if our body is constantly in a situation where it does not or is not able to come to a parasympathetic mode, it just kills itself over time. And we have so many digital devices that are constantly bombarding us, and we just go around seeing the antenna even in nature. So it's not possible to actually get out of it. But this kind of work shapes you from within, meaning you teach your body how syntropy works, and entropy becomes, like, in some cases necessary, like through fasting, apoptosis, that weak cells need to go, but you're still having a refeeding system. And sure, it might take a while till your physical body catches up, but it learns through resilience, to higher frequencies, to not be as affected anymore. So you become stronger, and the more you do your own symphony and also share it. So you'll feel like Heart Math Institute shares, like when you share positive emotions, when you share gratitude, when you share even kindness, your field resonates so much bigger. And even in MRT studies, they have to actually cancel out the heart to see the brain. But it's still not recognized as science. And just imagine your field is so strong that you can even stand beside that kind of antenna and you recognize it, but you radiate so strong that it doesn't bother you anymore. Sure, this takes time, but it is more than possible.
Wow.
That would be my answer to it.
Wow. Well, I think every one of our listeners is fascinated by your work, and it would be incredible to give a little idea around how to take someone through this journey of bringing in information to their system.
Outstanding. That would be my joy. I would share a meditation that is very simple, but yet very, very effective. And it's important that you're in a safe environment. Please, if you're driving, listen to it later. Just sit down. You have to close your eyes and just relax. And if you feel good, just allow the process and just go with it. And if you go, we're becoming sleepy, that is usually a reaction from your body that this is information that needs to be integrated deeply, and so your brain would be overwhelmed, so it just calms you down. You go into deeper frequency sets, like more into delta, where you become sleepy and your body has time to actually integrate. So that is normal, but usually after the meditation you're very, very strong, you become clear, you feel amazingly centered, and just see how reality is shifting so fast just by you changing the story, the symphony, and everything starts by just playing your musical system a little bit different and raising it an octave. So your sound just becomes beautiful, like it's supposed to be. So I'm happy to do. We'll take 10-15 minutes. And what you have to do, just lay back, close your eyes. Again, don't drive. You can always listen to it afterwards. And the words I use has nothing to do with religion. It's just like some structures are called that way, but you can believe in anything, you can believe in nothing. Everything is fine. The effects stay the same. It's just for wording perspective. Like in your heart, there's a space called the God spot or your essence. Nothing to do with a religious sign of God. It's just your door to your uniqueness or the sacred heart, which is just a concept that, or they could sometimes call it the higher heart, that might be used in some religions, but nothing to do in this meditation. This is pure, this is information and energy based, and the wording are just labels that allow your physical body as well as your essence to know what to do. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and take a deep breath and feel your feet. And this meditation will be mainly based on having the courage to actually step up, to walk a new path, and experience something that is called the soul flow, which is an upgrade to classical flow science, because you're flowing with your essence. You do experience that resourcefulness, that egolessness, that timelessness, and that effortlessness, or what I like to call it more, the ease. And you just feel great while doing what you're doing. You just know what you need to do. This upgrades you from intelligence to knowledge and later to wisdom, where this knowledge you feel and you know through your environment is so deeply embodied that you share it from your uniqueness so you can touch others. And this is actually the first step to creating into leadership, having a touching purpose, not just something that sounds good, that has marketing perspectives, that works on NLP, but to truly move people like the kings of old, you have to have something that when you speak it out, that touches them so deep in their heart that they want to team up. And just for companies, just imagine your coworkers, your employees really want to buy into your dream because they can fulfill theirs in your dream. Wouldn't that be perfect? That they are all in and you're all in. Just imagine what opens that. What new business opportunities can come from that and global scale development. So you can actually make that shift and not just having that vision that might come true, but you just have followers and no team. And just feel your feet, especially the soles of your feet. They're a phenomenally strong microcosmic representation of your energetic system, of the macrocosm. And if you just imagine this, the soles of your feet and the palms of your hand, that they're breathing in and out a phenomenal rainbow and a golden mist. The combination is so essential. Yeah, it might sound silly, and it might be triggering your imagination, but just allow the process. You will be surprised. And just breathe it in and out and see how you become lighter, how your physical body starts to erect. That is usually your spine is attuning to this new frequency. Just imagine like a tuning fork. And the first symbol that is now coming to your spine looks like an ankh. That looks closely to, if you're not aware of the Egyptian teachings, that looks like a holy cross, but with a half vesica on top. And the cross is a perfect T. And just allow this to spin through your spine, raising up through the top of your head into the sky and down to the center of the earth. You might feel the warmth, you might feel the intensity. You might also feel that you're becoming dizzy and super grounded and centered at the same time. And this symbol is now spreading into your energy field, so just around you. And this golden mist is breathing you. You're not doing anything. It's breathing you in and out, and you might feel a pure relaxation. And now there is a phenomenally strong, highly vibrating string coming from your pelvic region through both of your legs and straight down. You have three directions. And it's like being pulled by Mother Earth, by the Earth Center. And you feel being pulled down, being pulled down. All the movement of the golden mist is still present, and the symbol is still around your physical body. And it spins even more, and through that spin that is coming even stronger, it starts radiating. And through the radiation, you start attracting something different. As it turns out, to raise to what is called the seventh dimension. This is just for simplicity, where new physical laws are present and where the conditions of the Big Bang were different. And this dimension is so beautiful as it also represents your interconnection to everybody. The good, the bad, or actually the positive and the negative, they're just the same. And you just choose how you perceive them and just allow this dimension plus the spinning of the Ankh to bring you new information. And the silver cord is still going down to the center of the earth, where it becomes very, very warm, where this silver platinum line is warming up. You might feel a tingling in your body. That's usually your nervous system reacting already. You might feel a heaviness in your legs. That means all your anxiety, your pain is moving down towards earth, where it is recycled. And the warmth of the earth is warming up this silver line. And you might see a lot of light coming in. And you feel a very, very serene, peaceful feeling. And this line is slowly coming up through your rainbow feet, into your legs, back into your pelvis, rising up through your head, into the sky, and falling back. And now you're in your heart. And in your heart, there's a little spot that sometimes looks like a crystal, and sometimes it's just a very, very great feeling, or like a door. And you just enter that door. That is the God spot I'm talking about. This is your space where you can connect to your pureness, to your everything. But there is something that needs to be upgraded. Right to the right, there's the Sacred Heart. That has a spinning magenta pink diamond. And just imagine like two hands of your spiritual helpers that are just imagine they're just light and sound formation. That is what we're all about. And they just vibrate in a higher dimensional setting. So their light is not in the third dimension, but maybe in the fifth or in the sixth, where gravity, based on science, has not the same effect like for us. That's why they can help us so good, because they don't have the same limitations and the same learnings. And just allow two hands, bring these two half vesicas together until you feel like a star or a star tetrahedron, which be like a four-dimensional triad, up and down, and then interwoven. And they spin in alignment. And then another two are coming. So one spins fully to the left, one spins fully to the right, and one stays in the middle and just radiates and attracts your core essence. And just allow this movement combined with the Ankh, combined with the seventh dimension, and combined with the silver, golden mist, and rainbow feet, just allow it to breathe you. And now you're having that focus. It can be a project, but it has to be something that comes from your heart. Like, I really want to create that new path for myself and for others. Or I really want to find my soulmate. Or I do have so phenomenal visions. I don't know yet how to actually bring them into fruition, but I actually am looking for support or for the next steps that pull me in rather than push me in. Because true life, when you're in your symphony, it's been pulling you in. Gravity, like the cosmological constant shows, it's expansive, not contracting only. And we choose the polarity of gravity, we choose levity. So just imagine in front of you a golden path opens. And this golden path has all the steps and all the resistances you need to grow into your new you. And just see at the end that your perfection can be in pure light, it can be just a form, it can be a symbol that you feel is so phenomenally good for you at the moment. And just see that this symbol, that person, is telling you each step you need to take to fully come into who you are. And you might feel that little bit of fear, but that's normal. That's momentum. It starts with friction because, as we already said, the body does not like the unknown. But now you start loving the unknown because it has potential. It has the strings of excellence with it, and the strings of success, and the strings of abundance. And so, see from above, there's an energy ball approximately 20 centimeters or 10-ish inches above your head. It doesn't matter. Your physical body and your essence knows exactly what I'm talking about. And there is a golden light that is spinning inside. And just ask that this light now holds the law of forgiveness, the law of grace, the law of abundance, and the law of highest spiritual need, and the law of choice. Because it is important to actually move, that you close the old momentum and start anew. And while doing this, you feel like this golden light is slowly coming through another energy ball right above your head, slowly into your head, the top of your head, where it feels expansive. You might feel a pressure, you might feel something is changing, but it keeps spinning. And through this laws that it holds, your radiation and your attraction changes. So what you pull in and what you share with others resonates more with your core essence. And just allow this expansive feeling coming through your head, through your pineal and pituitary gland area, where you hold that image of yourself. And just allow this golden light to go into your image of yourself and showing yourself, your divine self, whatever you like to call it, that you're beautiful, that you're loved, and that you are abundant. And everything else that does not resonate with that is just not true. And if your body knows it's not true, the foundation of a belief and a habit just falls away. And we're allowing this golden light just to take everything away that is not us, so we can blossom in our brilliance, going through your throat, where usually there is so much stickiness. We're not expressing who we are. We have to fit in. We have to do this. We have to fit in the box. That if we would express who we are, the thyroid would love it, and the energy distribution and the electron and sound distribution that we can bring through our throat will become massive. And just see that this golden light is spinning around, going in and out, and opening to all four directions so you can express who you are. Coming down to your heart area, dropping down to your solar plexus area where there's a lot of power over. We have to plow through. And just allow this golden light to bring in forgiveness and compassion to this power over. And just show another way that is abundance and alignment. So you can actually be pulled into life. And power over is a trick that is played on you. Because who did you give power that you have to give power over? What did you have to plow through? You just open to a pathway that allows you to run into your excellence. And the resistance become the pathway that you can quantum jump from level to level to level to level. Coming down to your womb area, where we just clean out. And in the back, there is the Ming Men point, and we just imagine there is an atom that holds the representation of all our ancestry. So we're now playing around with epigenetics, if you allow and give permission to. And we're allowing that this golden light is bringing our blueprint into the neutron that holds and everything else is just pushed out. And the proton and the electron, just for simplicity, hold our future and our past. And we just allow that the new blueprint, there's coming a yellow and blue mist and a magenta mist. And we just breathe that in, and everything that is not aligned, it just falls away. And we're reattuning our electron and our proton, so we attract the future that we truly want and that truly resonates with our new harmony. And the electron can just fall away. And all the past has been handed in forgiveness and given the law of highest spiritual need. So all your past has been healed and given to something so beautiful that you can start shining. Coming to your pelvic area, where there is resistance to abundance, where there's usually a lot of tightness. And just allow from the backside that this golden light comes in and just create it like a blessing, like something so joyful and beautiful that you know now you can bring something into creation. And coming back through what is called the assemblage point, no need to know what that is. It's just something that you filter yourself through and go through and open the golden path through this while bringing in all the new information, all the new strings in your symphony, and allow this to spin. So the golden path is now resonating with your frequency, and your future self, or whatever symbol is coming, is just waving at you, and you start to blend with that. So you know what to do, you know how to do it, and you now, through the law of choice, make the choice that I'm willing to go to this momentum and closing the old and allowing the law of forgiveness, the law of highest spiritual need, to be sent with that golden light and golden mist. And also the blue and the green mist is coming and helping us. So everything can fall away that is not us. And we can step into the new momentum and receive learning in a new way. There is another symbol. So we need the courage. And this courage is seen by, it looks like a lion head which has 4 eights. One below, 2 to the sides, 1 above, and 1 in the middle. And they start spinning and spinning until they radiate in the 7th dimension, where the law in the plane of momentum resides. And we just allow that our courage is now being fully activated and brought into our new path. And the old path are being given and handed the law of abundance, the law of forgiveness, and the law of highest spiritual need. So we respect where we are and we accept who we were, but now making the choice with courage. So you might feel it in your physical body and a little bit of dizziness. That is normal. We're going very fast. So your rational mind does not catch up, but that's intended. And now go. And now imagine you're taking that first step. But it feels so light. It's different than life was before. Yeah, because gravity does not work the same here. It pulls you in and not pulls you down. And just allow that golden light to go forth and back for this pathway, so that all the resistance become the stepping stones and you start quantum jumping on your project. It just becomes easy. And what you attract and what you resonate just allows this resonance to increase in harmony, to increase in frequency. So you become fully you and step into the new reality. Slowly come back to your heart. Express gratitude for the gifts that have been shared and open your eyes to your new reality in life.
Wow, that was amazing. Oh my goodness. I felt like I gained so much wonderful information from that for my cells to listen to, for my body to listen to, far past my mental and emotional side of things. I'm definitely in that spiritual alignment realm. My purpose, my mission, everything. Wow, incredible. How beautiful that you have shared that with our listeners. And it's so fascinating to hear the tools that you're using and the ways that you're creating these energetic changes with just guiding them and their systems through. It is like playing the harmonic frequencies, the strings, and helping the system to listen to that so it can be a symphony. Share with us a little bit more about some of these tools that you're using. So, like you mentioned, dimension, and you mentioned about the chakra systems and the energy centers. You mentioned the symbols and even the colors. And so, share with us a little bit
I'm
more
happy
about
to do
some of
so.
these things.
Dimensions are spatial and temporal representation of part of reality. Just imagine the yin-yang sign. That's why I'll find string theory so fascinating, because it actually starts with a monochord, meaning a closed system. And then inside there is an open system, meaning you can change perspectives. And like just classical chord, just imagine a guitar. You're playing that one string and rearranging the octave. It changes everything.
Yes.
The sound changes, the harmony changes, the resonance body changes. So everything is in a shift, and that's what dimensions are actually about. And when it comes to these series, just imagine the first dimension are like cornerstones. That could be pure consciousness or pure awareness or pure source, whatever you like to call it.
Yeah.
That is closed because that is a round. That's a circle. The next step then would be the first dimension, that is the first pulse. Or the second dimension, sorry, the first pulse when causality starts to formate, meaning string theory.
Yes.
And then when it starts to bound together, creates pattern, creates the archetypal information, and even beyond the virtues, like the old traditions are teaching, then it's the third dimension in quantum physics.
Yes.
Where something can collapse. And the symbols are outstanding. There are fractal combinations that are in the field, that are strings, and that are in your physical body. And what they are doing so phenomenally, let's come back to the onion layer. We're going to the information in the first dimension and bringing the information from the first into the physical layer where they have their polarity part.
Yeah.
And when attuning the essence in perfection to the soon to be perfection in the physical body, everything in between starts to attune to this new high frequency because your body loves to be in that state. It's like, that is truly me. That feeling when you wake up after a phenomenal experience, yeah, that is me. That pulls me into life. That is that feeling. And they just attune to each other. It's like fractals. They hold a complete dimension in themselves. And by attuning these two, beauty starts happening. And that's what I meant about liberating. It is already you. So there is nothing that God, source, energy, everything is available to everybody.
Yes.
These techniques just liberate who you are to actually raise your beauty.
Yes.
And just very, very fast. And that's why in the old, they called it magic. Because you changed reality in reality super fast.
Yes.
And you become more you rather than the next copy of that master, and that master. And about chakras and color, chakras are like frozen light. And depending on the speed, they can be used like portals, they can be used like wormholes, they can be used like attuning the glandular system, the endocrine system, or whatever you like to use it for. But they have limits on specific dimensions. After 5 or 6 dimensions, they're not as functional anymore. So you have different systems that are more powerful. Then the colors come in. They are representation of geometry, sound, color, so light, and much, much more. And when combined and getting more into the void area, they become like a mist because they hold pure potential. They are not yet formed as like a code. So your body draws what it needs and it becomes like a virtual supercharge of your creation.
Yes.
While it always has to be the best for self and the best for the collective. That is what I had to wow for, that these practices can never be used for ill will. And if they are used for ill will, they just lose their power.
Right.
And that was important to not give the wrong people just power over others. That would be my answer to your questions.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, I definitely felt it during that session. It was so profound because I could feel, my spine elongating, the energy really coming through, the stability, the structure. And I also could feel like the energy, like a vortex almost of this swirling energy just upgrading my own cells, creating this beautiful frequency in this state of harmonic resonance. I love that.
And this kind of work can also be done in business setting because just imagine a brand is like a soul of a company.
Yes.
And so it creates meaning and everybody associates with the brand.
Yes.
And if you change these kind of harmonics for the brand, because every system is alive and it just consists of strengths and there is a perfected state. And attuning to that changes the resonance by upgrading your harmonic and then your reach to everybody and in the company changes. That is what I've seen very often.
I love that. That's amazing. I definitely see that too. I actually, a background on how I met Dr. Maximilian is I was traveling for biohacking summit in Europe, and while I was there in Helsinki, Finland, and Tallinn, Estonia, I heard about Dr. Maximilian's work, and I was fascinated and scheduled a session, and it was profound. The changes that I was able to see afterwards within my own life and within my business, within Resonance Wellness. And it was incredible to see how much closer to that harmonic frequency of what is my true intention, how I want to have impact on the world, how I'm on this mission to just create so much beauty and love and light in this world and hold true to that. And it was so important to me that everyone in the team of Resonance Wellness that are bringing in this light and love to our clients, they're truly there for the right reason and they're aligned with that mission. And what was profound is that over these past couple of months since my session, I saw how aligned the business became, how aligned like the voice behind the business and even the Resonant Life podcast. It was something that we have talked about, and I've been working with my team to get it launched for months, almost a year. And it was just within a few weeks that after the session that everything just aligned for it to get launched, for the release to happen, for our marketing to truly hold true to that harmonic frequency of what we're trying to create and be true to what that original purpose, that original mission is. So I loved that session for that. And then also within my personal life, those layers of the onion, I was able to heal so rapidly from many things throughout my childhood and throughout my past that I had been working on quite extensively. As I am my own healer, I've attempted to go through all the work that I guide my own patients through. And it took so much time, so much energy. So within that one session, profound changes personally and from a business level. And so a true gem, as you can see, and
Thank you
I
very
am
much.
so honored because we've been having conversations about you joining Resonance Wellness, and it's just so incredible to know that these listeners are getting to see the forefront of it, of how much you are bringing to the table and how your mission is so profoundly beautiful to create this huge impact on the world. And I am so excited for Resonance Wellness to partner with you in this and for us to create an impact together. So thank you for sharing your gifts, for sharing this energy with us, for sharing and creating this impact on every one of our listeners' lives. I know it sparked so much within them, and it's just going to be a ripple effect that they'll have within their own families, within their communities, within their culture. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. It was my honor. And also, this offer to cooperate with you and create this new way of living to your listeners and to many, many others, to have that profound shift, to share this with others, to be your own leader. That's outstanding, and have no words, just gratitude and thank you very much for having me share, to allowing me to share, and can't wait to
Yes,
bring this into fruition.
you as well. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Resonant Life podcast. I hope you found our discussion insightful and empowering. Before wrapping up, I want to invite you to explore our resources available through Resonance Wellness. Visit our website to access a wealth of free content, including downloadable guides, insightful articles, and practical tools designed to support your health journey. We also offer a variety of programs and courses that delve deeper into functional medicine, providing you with personalized strategies and expert guidance. If you are interested in learning how to integrate these insights into your own life, I encourage you to book a discovery call with me. Together, we will explore how functional medicine can help you achieve your wellness goals and live a life of optimal wellness. Visit drleiladoolittle.com to download your free resources and schedule your call. I look forward to connecting with you and helping you on your journey to a more resonant and fulfilling life. Until next time, I'm Dr. Leila Doolitttle, wishing you a day filled with resonance and vibrant well-being. See you in the next episode.